3 this weekend against the Yankees. Starts with Garrett Cole on the mound for the Yankees. Now, I'm not going to look at that 4.70 ERA. I'm going to look at the name, Garrett Cole.
Yeah. He can pitch still.
He's not quite at the level where he's been. Remember, an injury-shortened start to his season. Cole gets the call in Game 1. Tigers will have another group effort day, and likely it's Brant Herter as the bulk guy tomorrow. And just the way things are going, this is an interesting Yankees lineup. Andy, they've been a top 3-4 offense all year, but it's really being led by two guys.
Yeah, two guys that can hit the long ball often.
So all you have to do is shut down Soto and Judge, and you should be fine.
Well, yeah, and that's 100%. You're not going to let them beat you. Those are two guys you do not want to let beat you. They're going to get some hits. They might hit a couple home runs. But it's going to be managing the rest of the lineup and making sure that those two guys don't do so much damage that you can't dig yourself out of it.
6:40 start on Friday night. We're on the air with the broadcast starting at 6:15. That's going to wrap things up from here at the ballpark today. Thanks for our engineers today. Jenny Hornatsky back in our studios in Southfield. Tim Jetski with us here at the ballpark. For my partner, Andy Dirks, I'm Dan Dickerson. Again, the final score, Tigers sweep the Seattle Mariners. Another late home run today. It's from Javi Baez. They beat the Mariners 2-1. Thanks for listening. Have a great evening, everyone.
Detroit Tigers baseball.
Brought to you by the Sam Bernstein Law Firm, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan, General RV, Corewell Health, The D Las Vegas, Meyer, Comerica, Priority, UWM, and Little Caesars Pizza. Brought to you locally by Jack Demmer Ford, Northville Lumber, Jack Demmer Lincoln, McLaren Health, Metro Detroit Buick GMC dealers, and the Metro Detroit Chevrolet dealers.
This is the Detroit Tigers Radio Network. This Odyssey Sports broadcast has been presented by Health Markets. Shop for health insurance your way.
All right, let's get to business. Welcome aboard. And this is one of the shows you dread doing as a radio host. You hate doing shows like this because if you play it one way, I think you're a delusional shill. And I think if you play it the other way, rightfully, people are going to go, why you bleeping on my shoes? So I think there's one way for us to play this. So today, the Tigers won another meaningless baseball game because their season is over.
Javi!
They're buried. I'm ignoring you. They're buried at 5 games under 500. They're 8 games out in the wild card. And the sweep of the Mariners could have and should have meant something. But they lost the right to that because their season got off the rails. So Rico and I talked about this. The way to play this today is the following. What is the biggest what if with this team? What is the thing that if it were different, we'd be able to take the air today while you guys are driving home from the ballpark and talk about how meaningful a sweep of the Mariners was? Or maybe they had moved into the wild card or furthered a wild card lead. What is the biggest what if that would have turned this all around? And I know, all smarm aside, there's not one. This isn't going to be a yell fest about, well, duh, they should have signed a bat. No, I think it's more nuanced. I think there are other options, but I struggle. I've said this to Rico. The guys know it, and I think you guys have listened to this show long enough in every iteration of it. I struggle with once team is bad and out of it, you can kindly, from a professional level, not humanity, I'm saying professionally, just die. Just lose. Lose 100 games.
Leave.
No, I'm saying just leave, die, whatever.
Go full White Sox.
Yeah, like I don't care anymore because you've taken away my ability to care. Don't you dare try to get it back when you're only going to hurt me in the end. So that's what I do with my football team, my baseball team, or anything in between. So what the Tigers are doing right now, you're right. Kindly leave. I don't care. Yeah. And maybe they'll get within 5 of the wild card or 6, and then it'll be back out to 9 or 10.
I know.
I'm not interested.
And this kind of comes on the whole AJ disingenuous. It's amazing what happens when you add one bat, and it's like, are you serious?
Right, and then the next day they have 2 total hits.
Right, but
It plays.
Are you serious? And it's like, do you know, like, if you would have just done anything, we would be playing some meaningful baseball right now.
We'd be doing a fired-up show today.
Right.
I'd be hitting chair drops over the back of Munoz.
Right.
We'd be partying. And instead, I can't. Look, if you think we're yucking it up like the TV crew, you're out of your effing mind. That's the most disingenuous thing I've ever seen. Benetti's embarrassing himself. Bottom line, I think the what-if is Torque. I do. Even above my free agency stuff.
No, I'm laughing because we haven't talked about that.
Right. But think about if he was mostly who they thought he'd be.
Mm-hmm.
What if he was not 40? What if he was the 30 home run hitter? A 750 OPS guy, not even 800 or 850, 750.
Mm-hmm.
And he were just here every day. And he were helping them.
Yeah.
Would they be 3 or 4 games better? A couple games out of the wild card, Rico?
I do believe that, Mike. For one, you would have another legitimate piece to your core that we're waiting on. That's no smart, but that's just you would have a quarter of your infield locked down for the next 7 years or so. Like you would have your first baseman who would drive in runs, who would give you a pop in the bat, somebody that you could put in the 3rd, 4th, or 5th spot and drive in runs. Absolutely. Yes. That to me is the biggest if this guy had just been what we thought he was going to be, what we thought he was at the end of the year, yeah, I would be feeling a lot better about the progress of the core and saying, okay, we're not that far away. And yeah, I do think if he were playing that way, Mike, that's probably good for about 5 or 6 games that they could have won.
Could be injuries. You could make a case that Kerry Carpenter's injury. You could make a case that Mize's injury. You could play that game. Parker Meadows. I don't know. I just wanted to know. Because it sucks to sit here and you can't get amped up about a team winning a few ball games because they've killed your ability to do so. And unless you're sitting there, shilling it up for the 1901 club and you got tickets to move, any level-headed human being sees a team that's 5 under and 8 out of the wild card and you go, yeah, and what? But it sucks. We should be able to be excited today. Rico and I talked about this. This should have been a team that was able to have a winning record this year. And I don't think they're going to do that. And we never got the ability to have a real pennant chase. We didn't.
But see, and that's just it. When you think about it, we talked about, injuries and that. The other what if is something that you could control. In the offseason, you could have went out and you could have really added something to this team.
Yeah.
Instead of saying, well, we looked at the free agent market and we really didn't see anything that we like. Really? Nothing? Nothing.
Mark Canha? Huh. Sorry. But I'd like to know from you guys, what is the what if? Because if you think about what Rico's talking about and whether it was a free agent bat or Torque just being who he was supposed to be, they never trade Jack Flaherty. And obviously, injuries have hurt the rotation. They're doing the best they can with the bullpen days. It's going to fade. You're not going to have days like this moving forward. And it just, you feel like they hurt you twice because they get in this spot where they're 8-9 games out of the wild card. And then they win 4 in a row and they do it in dramatic fashion in front of like 12 people. And you're like, damn it, that ballpark should be full. This should be exciting. This is what the end of summer is supposed to be. And it's not. Mm-hmm. So what is it? What is the biggest what if with this team? You want to play that free agency card? I get it. I think Torque would probably be the one because it was the most in their control. They had the player, and he was so dreadful. Yeah. He got exiled overall. Before Harvey.
Yeah. And it was, he's going to go down and we're going to fix it. And I was like, I don't know.
I don't think he'll ever play here again.
I didn't want to be that person, as David would say, the deflator. But
make me be the bad guy.
No. But here we go. But when
You're dreading David's drop.
but when you hear, well, he's having problems hitting a fastball, as you like to say,
Yeah. Oh.
I mean, okay, curveball, I get it. Off-speed pitch, okay. Slider, yeah.
You can't hit fastballs at AAA for power, for damage. I don't know. So, yeah.
You
the
got a
torque
career
thing.
you may have a career in coaching.
That works too. A little tough to do if you're not friendly to taking coaching, which some of the reports have said, but I digress. 248-539-9797. What is the biggest what if with this Tigers team? The what if that held them back from you being able to be excited today. If you are excited about this win today, I don't want to talk to you because you're a different species. And you can call Bally. Call their hotline. Maybe Jason Benetti will talk to you. I'm not interested.
Let's have a judgment free, man. They swept.
No.
In dramatic
No,
fashion.
because when people yuck it up about this, you actually empower the organization to continue giving you less. I won't tolerate it.
You know what?
There's a rest of the day parts. You can call those shows.
You know what, Mike? You win.
That's it. That's all. I take it personal. We haven't made the playoffs in 10
Mike
years.
just scored the touchdown play. All right.
I just dropped the gritty. So, no, I would like to know because I wish we could be pumped up. Imagine being able to talk about a pennant chase headed as the Lions are about to start their season.
Mm-hmm.
Ballpark would have looked like Jim Leland night, full, exciting, electric.
No, it's about to be full, but it's only because the Yankees are in town.
You're right. They do fill that place up.
So, yeah, it's
You're
going to be full for the weekend, but won't be your fans.
True. 248-539-9797. David, biggest what if for this team that prevents us from being excited today?
So all year, all off season, we've been hearing about the young guys and the core and building from there and finding the actual core for the team. So I'm going to go back to 2023 as my what if, and that's the trade deadline. Last year at the trade deadline, when we missed out on trading Erod, there could have been an individual that we got back in that deal that could have maybe in the second half of this year been up on this team possibly. That could have been maybe a part of the core, or we at least could have got that answer, and maybe they could have helped a little bit on a run starting in maybe June or May or something like that. So I'm going back to 2023 when we screwed up that trade deadline.
I mean, listen, I say it respectfully, a little bit of a reach, considering Torque is right here, or the Matt Chapman saga, or Maeda. What about Maeda?
See, but here's the thing, and that is an offseason mistake there.
I'm saying
by
2
giving
years,
him 2 years versus Flaherty 1.
And Maeda was supposed to be a stabilizing factor. So you have a guy who was horrific in April, which he usually is, but then he never settled. He never leveled out. He got hurt. Then he was so bad you had to move him to the pen. What if Maeda were the stabilizing force?
I hear you there. And the reason why I don't go with Torkelson, though, is because I never really believed in him. It was always a problem hitting the fastball, and that, to me, never was going to be fixed.
Okay. I want to know what the biggest what if is. Whether you're driving home from the ballpark or you're just sitting on your back porch, whatever it may be. But, yeah, I'm sorry. There's no yucks. I'm actually the type of fan, I get annoyed when teams decide to do this. Kindly leave. You better get your ass to that wedding. I don't care. They ruined our ability to be pumped up about it.
Me watch that movie.
What's the biggest what if? I think it's what if Torque had been what they expected him to be. Mm-hmm. How much different this all could have been. And yes, the free agency thing, it was insurance on Torque not being that. You're not wrong. There's always going to be multiple what ifs. What's the biggest one? We'll get to it next. 97.1. All right, so if you're just tuning in, Tigers win their 4th straight, which is great if it mattered. The problem is they took away the right for it to matter. So we were talking about what are the what-ifs that would have changed this, that we would have been able to take the air today and been pumped up. I still think I'm with Rico on this. I think Torkelson's probably a big one. Yes, the free agency, I know. I'll never let go of that. But let's, for the sake of the fact that it was their player, and he was a part of their plan. And he was so bad, he found himself unemployed before Javi Baez. That's the what if. Had they had a corner infielder, middle of the order presence, 30 home run power, 40 doubles, 30 bombs, call it a 750 OPS. Let's say he never took the next step and became a high caliber average hitter, but man, he was doing damage. That's the difference, I think, between being 8 games out, where you can't possibly care about this, or being 2 games out. I mean, are there a multitude of things? Sure, of course there are. There's always a multitude of things, but we're asking for the biggest one. Naturally, you could say Maeda, you could say Mize, you could say injuries in general, you could say owner did not spend.com. You can do whatever you like, but it sucks. It sucks. Mm-hmm. I mean, they had the lightning in a bottle with Flaherty that if they could have just been in the mix and been relevant, you don't have to trade him. You don't have to mortgage anything. Mm-hmm. But here we are. David, go ahead. What is the temperature of the ticket text before we get to the callers?
This one's for you. Biggest what if for the Tigers is Wyatt Langford.
No, do not. I stayed away from that. Just leave it. Oh, man.
I was 100% sure that was going to be. I was if I would have bet on it, it's minus 1,000 on FanDuel. Mike was going to say Wyatt Langford.
No.
Right, he took the air out of my sails. Like, well, it's Spencer. Like, huh?
No.
You weren't supposed to say that. I just knew. I put it on a tee for you.
No.
That's why I didn't talk to him about this.
I left it alone. And in fairness, he's cooled down a little bit lately. So I'm just saying, no, I stayed away from it. I think there are much bigger things. I think the Langford thing becomes a thing in concert with other things. I think the bigger standalone is a guy like a Matt Chapman with a 6.5 WAR, or Torkelson being that all-star type first base. Those are more important. It's unfair if I was like, oh yeah, why Langford? It's always been Langford and Bat. Like 2 of the 3 are a thing. Go ahead, Dave.
What if is keeping Carey healthy for the whole year? I believe this gets us and would have gotten us to the wild card.
No, I think that's probably a little much to say that would be a 9-game differential. Now, you want to say a couple? I got no problems.
He would hit multiple home runs in all of his games?
Nah, he's a good hitter. He's a guy you wish he was available all year.
Yeah.
But again, had they bought some insurance, these things don't hurt you as much. So that would play to Torque free agency. Go ahead, David.
Yes, if Torkelson had been what we had hoped, and if we had another legit hitter, JD, as a DH to hit 4 or 5, we'd be cheering for a playoff spot.
Today we'd be on the air all pumped up.
After a sweep, yes.
We'd be all, because again, let's say they were 2 out of the wild card, not 8. How much different do you feel? That's the point. I think that's what we all want to do. Because the problem is you exist in a space where you can't talk about the actual game. You can't sit there and be all amped about actual baseball because they are so far out, it doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. And it's not the young core, like, for instance, Javi Baez running into a hanging slider by Munoz, that doesn't do anything for me. Now, if it was Jace Young, if it was Dylan Dingler, it feels different. And then the next layer is it's those guys doing it while you're winning and the games matter. That's the sauce. Mm-hmm. Like, even when the Lions found themselves out of it 2 years ago, that 1-6 start was that was awful. And you were like, man, if they don't get this turned around the next couple of weeks, are we talking about Dan Campbell not being here?
Right.
So then they catch fire. And they didn't quite get home, but you saw the bricks being laid. Mm-hmm. And technically speaking, they were playing for a playoff spot the last Sunday. Technically.
No,
we
they
had to
were.
watch Seattle and the Rams, and then it was our game.
Now, when their time came for that game, they were out of it.
Yes.
But even more impressive, they didn't quit. They went out there and they played. And then the biggest question was, can you carry this over into next season, or did you guys just rally, fall short, and it's all going to fall apart? Yeah. So, if this team were competing right now with the young guys, and you start seeing some of these guys, the Henry Malloy, like, okay, well, you know what? Maybe, just maybe, there's something there for next season that I can get excited about other than opening day.
Right now, the thing you hang your hat on is Cole Keith, as a hitter, it's an all-star caliber bat. The problem is he's probably not a second baseman long-term. Now, maybe Torque being terrible opens up the ability to move Keith, and it all works out one way or the other. That's fine. But you're thin on things I can pencil in for 600 at-bats next year. You're thin on options. Mm-hmm. Again, Riley Green is a very good baseball player. He's hurt again. You know, he's missed time again. Cole Keith, very good baseball player. We got to find him a position. I'm not as worried about that. So it's just going to be one of those things. The Torque thing really sticks out, the free agency thing. And it's again, I am guilty of the following. If anyone wants to get angry, I absolutely hold it against the team when they haven't made the playoffs in 10 years. It compounds the frustration. It's not like Cardinal fans who had winning seasons 23 years in a row and still wanted Oscar Marmol fired last year. Like that's a little bit different.
Right.
You know, like you're like, man, you're rough on the Yankees. Yeah, I haven't been to the World Series in 15 years. Unacceptable. Wholly unacceptable. And I do hold the Astros responsible. David, go ahead.
I love that. To hear AJ say one bat can affect so much, the what if would be one quality bat in the offseason. That is Joe in St. Clair Shores. The biggest what if for the Tigers in 2024, what if Akil Baddoo never got out of my car? That is from Will. Another one says, my thing, simply one name, Harvey Baez. When they finally did something about his awful play, half the season was gone. So what if they did it earlier?
Yeah, I mean, look, it'll be tough for short-sighted folks because he hit a home run today. But overall, yeah.
No.
Played
not
it.
just a home run.
What?
Game-winning home run with 2 outs.
Yes.
In the 8th.
Yes.
I heard the excitement.
They play a guy on a daily basis that helps the other team. That's just factual.
When you broke that stat down, that's when it got really depressing. That the more he plays, the better the opposition can win.
Opposition says thank you. Yeah. Go ahead, David.
Mike, well, never mind.
What you say?
No, it's more Wyatt Langford, so I'll leave that alone.
Hey, the people. No, the people can say it. I don't have to. I can just sit here. Jake
in Pontiac. Mike, what about Wyatt Langford? Or are you done clamoring for the 5th outfielder on the team? Oh, he's being. Oh.
No. He's being
smart about it.
Yeah, he's being prideful. Okay. He's happy with Akil Baddoo in an everyday lineup. That's cool. You're right. Wyatt Langford would never have helped you. Would have made no difference.
Now, I can understand if your argument is, based on what the organization has shown that they may still have him in the minors. I can see that being an argument, but 5th outfielder?
And again, I'm fine. I hope Max Clark turns into Willie Mays, but he's 2 years away. So great. If you want to pound your beanbag to that, that's your business. It doesn't help us end the playoff streak. It doesn't help us right now. And it's another lost summer. So you be prideful.
Marcus in Canton says, the biggest what if for me is Kenta Maeda. Every time we went on a win streak, his turn in the rotation would ruin that streak.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong because it would go Skubal, awesome. Flaherty, awesome. Olsen, awesome. Maeda, dead. How many turns in the rotation? What was their record with Maeda starting before he got hurt? Wasn't it like they had lost 11 of his 12 starts? It was really
right, but don't forget
really
it was
bad.
Also Olsen. Wait, what do you mean you can't score any?
They couldn't score any runs for him either. Yeah,
he just threw a 3-hitter.
Right, but then you're making a what if about a what if because then that goes right back to him with Torque. But yes, it all plays. They could have been so much better with a couple little things. Whatever. I guess we should just be grateful that they're trying. Hey, summer driving season's here. Combination of increased traffic, 18-wheelers, construction. Summertime in Michigan, you get more accidents than any other time of year. And if you're injured in one, You need injury attorney David Femininio, him and his team, ready to help you right now. And David will speak to you personally. You can call 855-65-CRASH and get to that website anytime at getdavid.getpaid.com. Stop. You're all out of order right now. Stop it. Stop it. And I am going to defend Tiger fans on this. Yes,
Hey,
he
David.
went 3 for 5 last night with a bomb.
David.
He hadn't done much in 2 weeks.
David.
Come on.
Run that back.
No, do not run that back.
Run that back.
That's not fair.
Run
That's
that
not-
back.
that's
Come
not
on, David.
fair
One
to
more
the
time.
Not fair to the people. Really?
All right. I'm done.
The point I'm making is today's not the day for that. He hadn't done much in 2 weeks. Do I still wish they had taken him instead of Max Clark because I want to make the playoffs this year? Yes, but here's the deal. If they had taken Langford and still not signed anyone in free agency, it wouldn't be the impact we were hoping for. They needed to take him plus sign someone. I'm just saying, don't make me rip Wyatt Langford. That's what you're making me do. You're being very unfair, David. What's the biggest what if for the Tigers? That instead of being able to be amped up about today, be in a pennant chase, and have meaning in what took place the last 4 days, instead we're stuck here, as Rico likes to call it, at the bottom of the chili pot. We go to Mike. He's going to lead off today. Mike, how you doing today, buddy?
Guys, what the heck is up with that Wyatt Langford clip? Can't we be playing Javi Baez with Benetti commentating him hitting a game-winning home run in the eighth? Come on now.
Yeah, if you want me to be dishonest to my audience, sure.
For a game that doesn't matter?
Yeah, I mean, that's my whole point. What am I supposed to do? Like, it's
I know, I'm with you there, man.
They killed us.
Too many what if.
You just get the John Jansen. Yeah!
Right. I mean, they killed us. Go ahead, Mike. What's the biggest what if?
All right. My one what if, I got to agree with you, Mike. What if Spencer Torkelson didn't turn into an absolute pumpkin? I mean, the ability to have a bat like that and how he looked in the beginning of his career versus how it turned into, that could have won us so many more of these ball games.
It would have been a stabilizing force. I agree. Rico has been on that. And as easy as the free agency thing would be, the fact is Torkelson would be number one for me because they had the player. They didn't have anything to negotiate. Mm-hmm. Chris didn't have to reach in his pockets. He was here.
Under your control for a long time.
And he was so terrible. It's just not even remotely playable.
He started the year off. He was leading the league in doubles, and then that just all fell
the problem
apart.
is, he led the league in doubles with 0 home runs. He went 2 months without a homer. He was horrific.
Right. See, that's what I was hoping that, okay, maybe it'll be the other side where you're hitting doubles. Okay, let me correct the swing a little bit.
Turns into power.
Correct. Yeah. It went the other way.
I know. We are aware. Yeah. And, oh, by the way, here's the other thing. There was an expectation he could be average defensively someday. He was horrific. Yeah. So it was a total, that's the one that, man, I feel like you're right. If he were good, like if they were
turning
sitting
into Serrano from Major Leagues.
Hats for bats. If they were sitting 3 games out of the wild card right now, think how different we feel. I think that could have made that difference.
3 games out of the wild card, Mike, and we're doing shows like, hey, will this team make the playoffs or not? 2-4-8. Yeah, I mean, this would be a legitimate thing. Yep. But instead it's, hey, you swept the Mariners.
After it's too late. Let's go to, all right, with the golf clap. And enough with the drop, David. That's ridiculous. Let's go to Derek, who's up next, 97.1. What's up, Derek?
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call. First of all, love the show. I think you guys do an amazing job. I've been listening to you for a long time, and, I've been wanting to call in since May, since you were burying Colt Keith when he started off so horribly. And, you can go back and do the revisionist history, and I understand. Listen, it's probably better to do a radio show when you got a winning team, and I get that. But I think really what it boils down to is this team's not ready. And even if they had gotten Chapman and they had drafted Langford, we would have been at the trade deadline, and if they didn't do anything, you would have been saying, why didn't they do anything? And I think that's really what it boils down to. Is it Scott Harris deciding and putting out the philosophy, hey, we got to wait. Or is it the owner saying, I don't want to spend? And to me, that's the bigger issue. Mm-hmm. But this team needed a lot. And if you listen to Harris, basically what we're going to see next year is they'll probably pick up a couple of pitchers, and you're going to see Jace Young at third. You're going to see Torkelson at first. You're going to see Colt Keith. Maybe we get to see Sweeney.
Well, time
after
out.
Baez.
Let me offer one. I want to offer one thing. I don't totally disagree with you at all, Derek. My disagreement is, okay, let's say you see Young at third. Has Young been any good at third in the minors? Yes or no?
Absolutely not. I'm just telling you what Scott Harris said.
Okay, but I don't have to like it. I want to make sure we're clear here. Like, Derek, if you like it, that's your prerogative, but I don't have to, do I?
No, certainly not. And listen, I get it. It's more compelling to either have a winning team or be negative. I guess I'm a little bit more positive. There's been some good things. Dingler came up. Colt Keith, when you buried him back in May, and you did, you were horrible.
100%, Derek, because he was one of the worst. Hold on, stop. He was one of the worst players in baseball. What should I have said about him? If Derek is hosting afternoons, tell me what I should have said.
No, I would do exactly what you were doing. I'm just saying, like, he has turned into a real baseball player.
He's an all-star caliber bat. He's a terrible second baseman, but he's an all-star caliber bat.
But Derek, hold on, Derek, real quick. You do realize that you can criticize somebody when they're bad, and when they're good, you can change your opinion on them. You don't have to stick with how you felt about them. It's ever evolving.
I agree with you, Rico, but you haven't changed your opinion on Scott Harris. You basically said, hey, listen, he signed Maeda, but then you don't give him any credit for signing Flaherty. And then similarly, when they made the trades, like, they got good value for Lorenzen. They got good value for Flaherty. So,
well, I wasn't here when they traded Flaherty, so I don't know what Rico said. I was on vacation.
I know I was bummed out that you weren't there to make the commentary.
Well, I'm not here. I can give you my feeling on it now. I don't know if it'll matter. I wouldn't have freaked out.
For the record, the Flaherty trade came down with 30 seconds left in the show.
Yeah, here's the deal, Derek. I can't rip it because there were some health concerns there. That's pretty clear. You guys getting epidurals multiple times. I wish they would have done more, but I don't know that what he did was horrible. I just wouldn't be doing cartwheels over it. Look, the bottom line in all this, Derek, if you're going to call up and go, well, look, here's what we're going to get next year. It's going to be Young at third, who in his first 40 games in the minors had 12 errors at third. You have you have a bad second baseman defensively in Keith, and Spencer Torkelson is horrific and may not play again. If you're telling me you're okay with that being the plan, cool. Not yelling at you. But you're right, it is more compelling to win. That's why we want sports. That's why we like sports. When a team refuses to deliver winning or seemingly not want to take steps to get us closer to winning, I think it's okay to be frustrated. And I'm sorry, but it's a decade without playoff baseball. Yeah. And did I say Keith was terrible to start the year? Yup, because he was. I don't know who in their right mind, unless you're on the team payroll, is going to do let it play out radio. But if that's your win, great. I don't really care. I mean, yes, I ripped the Maeda signing. Why? He's awful. I never knocked him for Flaherty. I have said how good this team is at finding pitching. But when you're finding pitching and always having to trade it, it means you're really bad at other things. Wrong? Right?
No, you're correct. And yeah, just for the record, that came down literally. I had a bet with Rieger of whether the trade would go down. Yeah. And with 30 seconds to go in the show, the Tigers made the trade and we were off the air.
I just want to make sure I was unequivocal. I wasn't here. You don't know what I would have had to say. I wasn't here.
Well, I mean, but here's the thing is, hey, people, you say, well, you said this back in April, and then things changed. And we will be the first to say, hey, this turned out to be a better person than I thought. But
yeah, here's my message to Derek. It's very simple. To Derek and people like Derek, start asking your team for more. They're not doing you a favor by trotting 9 people out there. They're asking for your money. They're asking for your time. They're asking for your emotion. They owe you. You don't owe them. But if you're happy with this and you want to do Silver Linings Playbook, that's cool. They'll keep taking your money and you can enjoy the cheesy puffs or whatever they're called. I want to win. I want a parade. I want to win. This doesn't work for me, and it shouldn't work for you. But if it does, God bless.
Yeah, but for those are the people who they're okay with waiting for the core and will be patient, and we've waited.
And they have a right to.
We've waited 10, 15 years.
They have a right to, but don't vilify those of us who don't agree. I want to win.
Is this your first day in this country?
David hit the Langford button. I'm kidding.
I'm just trying to have a little fun.
I know.
David gets angry at me. Kenny drops his head. Like, just having some fun, guys.
Football is approaching. That's what the Tigers give us every year. They just give us runway to football season. Tons of player props, futures. Team markets, you name it, FanDuel's got it. New customers, $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. No better place to get ready for the season than FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, you go to FanDuel.com/ticket. You sign up today. 21 and up, present Michigan. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued. Non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms. Sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. I wonder if football is on the horizon. David, we have got a lot of NFL news. We going NFL to start? Yes? Music.
Yes, we're going NFL, but we're going betting odds for the NFL.
Oh, there is news today, but we can do that at 5 o'clock. That's fine. Go ahead.
So what we're going to do here, DraftKings has the betting odds for NFL receiving yards, but it's head-to-head.
Oh, so like a golf tournament.
Exactly. So,
oh, man, this is where you're rooting for rolled-up ankles.
So we have In this matchup, we have Justin Jefferson versus Jamar Chase. Both are minus 110.
Chase. You've got Sam Darnold throwing passes.
That has changed since this came out,
But hold on. This is interesting. Let me back up a second. Last year, Kirk Cousins got hurt what week? Nick Mullins.
I think it was in the middle of the year, so like week 8.
So Nick Mullins takes over. What were JJ's numbers? They weren't that far off, were they?
He got hurt as well, too, though. So that kind of messed his numbers up, but he was still hitting when he was playing with Mullins.
That's what I mean. So that's actually not as, you know what? These damn sports books, they're sharp. If it looks too easy, it is. Maybe you do the reverse of the reverse psychology. JJ.
No.
Okay. I tried to sell it for you.
You're still going Jamar?
Yeah.
Okay.
I tried to sell it.
That's fair. Let's go to the next
McCarthy
matchup.
was there.
All right. Let's go to the next matchup here. Amon-Ra St. Brown at minus 125 versus A.J. Brown at plus 100.
Oh, my God. Oh, God.
I feel like, Mike, ooh, that's a good one.
That is a good one. I feel like Amon-Ra, he'll play hurt, which he proved last year. He's good for at least 1,100 yards. Philly's got a lot going on. I'm not totally you know what? I'll go Amon-Ra. That's my guy.
See, to me, I know we can't do push because you're thinking there's another. Each has another receiver who could potentially take away a lot of catches. I'm gonna go AJ simply because the Eagles don't have a tight end that can steal receptions away from him. So that's why. It's not saying that Amon-Ra is good. It's just he's going to have fewer opportunities, I believe.
And later on, we will get to the other receiver in Philadelphia as well as the tight end in Detroit. But let's get to this matchup first. Old versus new. Marvin Harrison Jr. at minus 110, well, they're both minus 110, versus Devontae Adams.
This is okay.
You know what?
Can I just do the PSA that if you're betting these, you probably got to call the number? This is way too much stress over 18 weeks. Oh, my God. Can you imagine watching the head-to-head? It's like a bad version of fantasy football.
I'm going to go with
I'm going to watch this team.
I'm going to go with Marvin Harrison Jr.
Really?
Yes, because you know it's going to be Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray sees him as an opportunity to actually belong in the NFL and not get broomed out. Okay. They're going to throw the ball. Chances are the Cardinals are going to be down a lot, so they're going to be out there playing, 7-on-7 football.
He keeps knocking them. I think the Cardinals are going to be sneaky.
No, they are.
They're going to be sneaky.
But they always seem to fall apart, and in the fourth quarter, it's just at that point.
Their first halves last year were amazing, and then second half, death.
Yeah, so whereas with the Raiders, look, I do think that there's a little bit of a quarterback controversy there.
Oh, God.
And I don't believe in the Raiders' offense.
Okay. All right, I'll go Marvin Harrison Jr.
Outside of Adams' first few years in the league, he got hurt in 2019, but outside of that, he hasn't had under 1,300 yards last year. So I stand corrected. Let's move on to the next matchup. Alabama versus Alabama. Jalen Waddle versus Devontae Smith.
I'll go
both at minus 110.
I'll go Slim Reaper. Waddle gets hurt all the time.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't like either of these. These are unfair. I choose Texas. These are difficult, man.
Waddle or
Smith. Devontae Smith. That's the
Slim
other receiver.
Reaper.
Smith.
So even though you said in the other one how you got A.J. Brown there
because
now.
David, the best ability is availability.
And then I got to root like A.J. Brown's knee starts barking, so he gets more targets. This is maniacal.
That is fair. Let's move over to a tight end matchup here. Sam Laporta at minus 125 versus Travis Kelce.
Laporta.
Plus 100.
Laporta is the best tight end in the NFL. Kelsey's old. He's about to be engaged to the most famous woman on the planet. Unfocused. Can't do it. Laporta.
I'm going to go Kelce.
No. He's negotiating a prenup right now. You think he has time for crossing routes?
Wait, who's negotiating the prenup? Her or him?
Both. I read the New York papers tonight.
They each got it.
Because right now she's like, oh, that's cute. You know what? You could pay the cable bill.
Hey, have your people call my people. He don't have time for a playbook.
You want to fit in? Okay, you can pay the cable bill and the phone bill. I'll handle the rest. That's cute, your little NFL money. This is probably how Tom Brady felt.
Taylor's giving him a WIC card.
Right. Like, here's your allowance. Go buy some beer. Go hang out with the fellas. Because they don't have receivers in Kansas City, he's going to be really the main target.
Any thought to age, though? Man, he's old.
No, because they're on, Mike. Yes, if he played on an average team, yeah, but they're on a mission to show we want to keep this thing together as long as possible. Because when it falls apart, they're looking at the New England Patriots saying this is what Kansas City will look like in a few years.
You keep the airline, Miles. All right, go ahead.
You keep the plane.
So I love these. I'm gonna give you a couple more here. Drake London at -165 versus George Pickens.
The problem is -165.
Yeah.
That's insane juice.
Yeah.
Can't do that.
Let's move over.
Take London because I think that
but you're paying so much to do it. That's insane.
So let me give you this one, and then I'll give you
win.
And I'll give you the last one. Chris Olave and DK Metcalf.
Oh dear God! Wow. The thought of needing Spencer Rattler at quarterback potentially at some point this year versus guy who hates his life in Seattle and may kill Geno Smith. I'll go Olave.
I think he will just actually kill whoever if they don't throw him the ball. Give me DK.
He's so scary. He is. The video of him chasing down Buda Baker is like Michael Myers in the movie Halloween. This ominous killer is just running after you, and you're like, oh, my God.
When I see DK, I immediately go back to just Debo from Friday. Where you hide your chains, Debo's coming. That's DK.
Final one here.
Yeah.
Both at -115.
Yeah.
Xavier Worthy, Jackson Smith, and Jigba.
I'm going to go JSN. Second year in the league versus first year. I think Lockett probably ends up sliding to be the third there. JSN is an outstanding route runner. Great hands. Worthy is a one-trick pony. It's going to be all 9 routes.
Mm-hmm.
And he weighs like 160 pounds. I'm going to go JSN.
I love this because we didn't agree on one.
What are you talking about?
Give me Worthy because Seattle's bringing in a defensive-minded coach.
How dare you not agree?
Who basically saw at Michigan, but if we run the ball a lot, we can win. They'll turn around and hand it off to K9. No, I think Worthy is going to be the deep threat in Kansas City. Yes, he does.
We're going to do this again in the future with quarterback passing yards and rushing yards. That is in football today.
Brought to you by Northville Lumber. It was the bottom of the eighth at Comerica Park today as Detroit battled Seattle. Tigers were down 1-0 with a runner on third. Andres Munoz came into the game in relief to face Javier Baez. He had not given up a hit since the 4th of July until this.
Sorry, wrong cut. I'm so sorry.
Jason Foley spent a 1-2-3 ninth, and the Tigers won 2-1, sweeping the Mariners. The Red Wings are set to skate in an outdoor game in Columbus this upcoming season. The Big Ten is also getting ready to launch an event called the Frozen Confines, which will follow the Winter Classic. Michigan will battle Ohio State Friday, January 3rd, while MSU will take on Wisconsin the day after. The NBA schedule dropped earlier this afternoon as well. The Pistons will take on 6 playoff teams in their first 6 games. It begins with Indiana on October 23rd. They have one national game against the 76ers at home, February 7th on ESPN. According to an article in Sports Illustrated, Notre Dame is canning their men's swimming program for at least a year after investigations uncovered that swimmers launched an internal sports book, which they used to gamble on their own meets, along with program cultural issues. At the Corwell Health Sports Desk, I'm Jeremy Otto. For more, go to 97.1 The Ticket or Odyssey.com.
All right, 5 o'clock. Good to have you with us. We're going to intro a new topic, but I want to keep the momentum going because a lot of people have a lot to say about it. It's very simple. Tigers win 4 in a row, and we couldn't possibly sit here and be all excited about it. I mean, we're not on the payroll. They're out of it. What are they, 6, 7 under 500? They're 8 games out of the wild card. They blew their shot for us to be joyful. The question was, what is the biggest what if? That if blank went differently, we'd be amped. The phone lines would be full, and we'd be in a real playoff chase. And Rico and I settled on Torque. I mean, the free agency thing's a no-brainer, but let's face it, it required negotiation. Torque was yours. He was going to be a middle-of-the-order bat for you, and he was so atrocious. He was unemployed before Javi Baez. And I know, David's screwing around with the Wyatt Langford thing. No, I will say it again. Wyatt Langford alone would not have done that. You needed Wyatt plus free agents. Then it's different. But David wants to be provocative today. That's his deal. I also want to bring up Matthew Judon got traded. And now it's to a team in the NFC that is going to be a pain in the ass. No, I don't think they're as good as the Lions, but are they someone I will be excited to play? No. He went to Atlanta. In concert with that move of trading for Judon, who's an elite pass rusher, they signed Justin Simmons, who's a Pro Bowl safety. Now they have the best safety combo in football with Simmons and Jesse Bates. Kirk Cousins, Drake London. Have you seen Bijan run? And what we will assume is a rejuvenated Kyle Pitts because he has a quarterback with functioning arms. So I have a question. We all kick this around a little. I'm not bent out of shape by it. But do you believe the Lions missed out? There is an element of the fan base that wants them to have a little less Snead in them, F them picks, and you're in a Super Bowl window, and you might have the pass rushers you need. Maybe James Houston, maybe Davenport stays healthy, but it's no one we know. You bring Matthew Judon here. Now every third down, it's Judon Hutch with DJ Reader disrupting in the middle. Now oh boy. Do you feel they missed out here? totally okay if you say no. I just wonder.
I do.
You do.
I do.
Because you're negative.
I am.
Wait, we're disagreeing again. Unbelievable. It's not how it's supposed to be.
Mike, what should I think? Help me.
Just will you please deliver your opinion?
I do, because I've said it, man. If you can add to this pass rush, it makes your linebackers better. It makes your secondary better. It makes everything about your defense better, because the quarterback is under duress. You've moved them out of the pocket, and they're going to probably throw the ball away, or this is how you get your interceptions. You need to add just an extra pass rusher. And it's not to say that, oh, you don't believe in Houston. Hey, newsflash, you can have a lot of people on the defensive line and just kind of rotate them in like a hockey shift, where it's just, okay, you know what? You guys, 2 plays. Go in there, go as hard as you can, come on off, next 2 guys. Yes, and for a third-round selection, because it's why I wasn't happy during the draft when they went out and got the project tackle, because you gave up picks in order to get this guy. It's why I think they also gave up picks for Vaki as well. It's like, okay, you're in your window now and you're going out getting guys that you can groom for later. Man, screw later, right now. Just try to win everything and don't worry about 4 or 5 years down the line.
And then listen, if you don't believe it matters, that's fine. But I'm okay if people say, yeah, I wish we had him. Look, I think Atlanta right now has become one of the better teams in the NFC. No, they're not San Francisco, or Green Bay, but are they number 4?
You know what they are? In my opinion, coming into this, they're kind of what you were coming into last year's season.
Yeah.
Where everybody kind of said, come on, man, seriously, the Lions, you've seen the Lions, right? And all you did was gather up pieces. You got better. And by the end of the year, nobody wanted to play you. But at the beginning of the year, you were still a little bit of a joke.
They have an elite corner in A.J. Terrell. Justin Simmons, who they just signed, believe it or not, his 30 interceptions lead the NFL since 2016. They pair him with the other elite ball hawk safety in the league in Jesse Bates.
Mm-hmm.
Now they add a pass rusher. They haven't had a guy have double-digit sacks since 2016. Well, if Judon's healthy, he's a mortal lock for 11, 12, 13 sacks. You know what they are offensively. Yeah, an NFC team got a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you think that's overstating it, guys, that's fine. But I understand Rico's side. I can't disagree, but I'm also not going to chair drop and be all I get you don't have a third-round pick next year, and I understand. Look, you just gave Decker an extension. Maybe you didn't want to go 2 at 28 for this guy. He's demanding a deal. It's going to be a 2-year extension. But yeah, Rico's not wrong, guys. You kind of get to the mountaintop, you better win it. Because before you know it, you're going to be tumbling down it.
But this is one of those things where I throw my hands up because it's not a priority for this team, is that pass rusher. I have been begging them for years. Just, guys, one more. Just get one more.
They think they have them.
They do.
And I don't know if we're all going to find out together. Look, when people evoke the name of James Houston, that's a guy who caught fire as a rookie in about a 7 or 8 game span, right?
Mm-hmm.
He died last year. He was nowhere. Now we're banking on what we saw 2 years ago, that over 18 weeks, he can be that guy. Marcus Davenport, a guy who rarely is healthy. They're banking that he can be healthy. Rico, I'm with you. I would have added someone else. I'm not going to scream that they did.
Right. A third-round selection.
And again, they didn't have a third.
I know. They had one until they gave it away.
See, and that's why, and I talked to you guys yesterday, and I know it is a lot, but I thought they should have given the second round because they had no third round, and you wanted to get ahead of the other teams that wanted him. And I know second round pick is a lot for a guy that's 32 years old and coming off injury and all that kind of stuff. It's a lot, but I think, like you do, Rico, they don't prioritize it enough, and I think they need more. And this would have been more. This would have been what you do to become not just the best team in the North, but you then become the best team in the NFC.
And it's one of those things where you always say, hey, act like you've been there before. They haven't. So it's maybe in the future they realize, you know what, we may need to save some of these picks to make the moves and make the trades. But right now,
if you want a chair drop, I will simply guide you back to, week 7? If we're at the trade deadline and this team is cruising and doing well, and you see some names of players you can go and get for a pick, and they don't do it, and one of these players goes to a rival, that's when I'll be upset.
Right.
But I get it. I'm
not
fighting
asking
on it.
for a chair drop now, but it's one of those. Atlanta is kind of becoming sneaky good. They remind me a lot of where Detroit was going into last year.
Yeah, as long as Cousins is healthy, which we presume he is, they have, you know what it is? They have a lot of high-end players. They do.
They do, but so did the Lions. And nobody was really buying in Goff. It was like, yeah, but Hendon Hooker, and they drafted him and blah, blah, blah. What did Atlanta do? They went out and drafted somebody. Could we really believe in Cousins?
Atlanta, this is where, and I know we're not doing Atlanta radio. I'll never understand the Penix pick. Because at 8, they could have taken Dallas Turner. They could have taken another offensive lineman.
And maybe he becomes their Hendon Hooker where you just wasted a pick.
Potentially.
But have you seen Bijan run?
Well, you're gonna. Because I don't know what Arthur Smith was doing. He may have targeted him a bunch, but he had him in bubble wrap. They ain't playing that this year.
It's going to be a 30 for 30. We're going to find out the real reason what was going on with Arthur Smith.
248-539-9797. David, early returns on the ticket text. What do people have to say?
Falcons got a lot better when Cousins gets hurt and old man Penix comes in. They will fall off, though.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Just so we're all on the same page. Where do opinions like that come from? That Cousins is this certainty to die because he had a catastrophic injury last year.
Because
how do you know Goff's not going to have a catastrophic injury?
Because he won't. He's going to win the MVP. Because in this town, it's we are the greatest, and everybody else is just going to be mediocre and they're subpar. And it's like, guys, it's football. But I agree with you. But yes, that it's the opinion that makes you sleep at night. That you're just going to, well, it won't work with Cousins. No. People said it wouldn't work with Goff. How'd that work out?
I agree completely. I hate that they traded away those picks on draft day, but won't upgrade with proven talent. If they had traded for an edge last year at the deadline, they'd have played in the Super Bowl. Someone else says, come on, Rico. Judon is 32.
Stop.
I don't want to be Les Snead. Save the pick.
All right, turn his mic off. I'm going to defend Rico in this regard. No, stop. I'm taking care of this. I've had enough because I'm going to tell you something. This idea that like Rico says something that flies in the face of Lord Holmes or Lord Campbell, that he's just a hater and a numbnuts and a boner. You guys got to drop it. Matthew Judon, yeah, he is over the age of 30. He also, if you actually watch football, much less just parse data, is a sack a game in his last 20 games. He's an elite pass rusher who was on a terrible football team and wanted out. You don't think Matthew Judon, deployed by Aaron Glenn, with the players you have, that he wouldn't come here and be a destroyer? Oh, but no, I forgot. Oh, Rico said it, so it's got to be stupid. Now, look, I don't like doing this because his ego's already big enough, but I've just about had it. It's a salient point. He's not wrong. And I wanted the guy here. I'm not going to be upset by it. But this idea that you just dismiss it because Rico said it, oh, he's a dirty Niner. No, he's a guy who knows football and watches the game. For Christ's sakes, it's okay to just say, guy could help. 248. Jesus. For a town that's 1-0, I tell you, you guys think you got some big balls. You need the wheelbarrow? Maybe I'll carry him through the threshold for you. You got a lot of work to do to win it all. I must have missed the parade next to the Kearns clock. Hit a button.
You're going to be a problem.
I'm sick of it. It's ridiculous.
Because, Mike,
Matthew Judon's a damn good football player.
Because if you question anything that right now the Lions do, Brad Holmes knows more than you. Guys, he could help you out. The Hutchinson that you want would come out if he had somebody on the other side. But you didn't.
It's fine. It's fine. My point is, it's okay if you didn't want him. But what I don't understand is the ad hominem attack nature. Oh, this guy blows. And it's like, dude, that's just wrong. You're just saying things to make yourself feel better. The guy is objectively very good to elite.
David, I'll simply ask, did they at least spell my name right? Okay.
Yeah, he actually just texted back. I said that to mess with Rico, to be honest.
Yeah, just so long as you spell my name right, that's all I care about. You know what? Let's talk about, hey, if that guy or anybody else out there, you want your own radio show, you know what can help you out? Specs at LTU. No, Specs at LTU can help you. You want to get into radio, TV, graphic design artist, Specs at LTU can get you started on your goal. Classes are going to be starting in the next couple of weeks. You need to go to the website. You need to be curious. ltu.edu/specs to learn more about the broadcast media arts, digital media arts, and graphics communications program taught through Specs at LTU right here in Southfield on the campus of Lawrence Tech. Like I said, classes are filling up. They're going to be getting ready to start just in a couple of weeks. You're going to be taught by people like myself. And with that hands-on approach and expert faculty, you're going to learn the practical skills you need to succeed in today's media industry. So what are you waiting for? Be curious. Visit the website, ltu.edu/specs to learn more. Then make magic by enrolling in Specs at LTU certificate program today.
All right. I've calmed myself down. David, some ticket texts. We'll get to the phones. Do a little football today as well before the day is out. Yes, Mr. Hatchet.
I hate being a Lions fan because I'm associated with fans that don't know their you-know-what from their feet. Bunch of keyboard warriors.
It's okay to say they're a really good football team, and they may be just fine, but okay, here's how I view it. It's like pitching in baseball or bullpen help in baseball. You never have enough. Or
Correct.
Maybe the better way to say it, you can't have too much.
Correct.
If you had added Judon, how would it have hurt you? No, the finances of it, I'm open to that conversation. I don't care about the
But
picks.
you know what? You're not
because-
cash strapped. I mean, you have money to, like, you paid a lot of contracts out, but they were cap friendly.
Yeah.
So you could have done this because you're at that 2-year window, the extension, you're in it right now.
Yeah.
He can help you get to the promised
You're
land.
not wrong. You're not wrong. I'm not screaming about it, but like, I don't get why people want to attack if you're like, geez, I wish we got him. Go ahead.
Agree with Rico. Would have been nice. Can live with it, though, especially if Brad and Dan did the homework and didn't like the locker room fit. That's another problem.
Yes, and let's be clear about something. The trade deadline is my line of demarcation. That if you are all in it to win it, and there's a guy that can help you, I want to see them make that move at the deadline. I'm not going to freak out about this.
Right. And because this wasn't a make or break type of guy. I'm just saying, this is one where, wow, really? He was right there for that price? Maybe we should have kicked the tires on that.
I don't like that he's in the NFC. That's what I can't stand.
And the problem is when that trade deadline comes up, Mike, and you see that the 3rd and 4th round picks for next year are gone already, that's where you're going to get angry because you can't play it. You can't play the game. You don't have the capital.
But, Mike, you just said it, and I want Lions fans to understand what you just said. Because he's in the NFC, Atlanta, that division's weak down there with the NFC South. Atlanta could win that thing. You could face them in the playoffs, and that could be a problem. And we all know what happened last year when the Lions faced a team that traded for the guy they possibly should have traded for.
And again,
that was Chase Young.
And he had some highs and lows.
He did, but that was a high in that moment.
He also made one of the 3 biggest plays in the game defensively for the Niners. So, again, he dogged it on the Gibbs run. But, yeah, and look, Atlanta got a lot better today signing Justin Simmons. I mean, pairing Simmons with Bates and A.J. Terrell, I mean, all of a sudden now that secondary is elite. And you put a pass rusher up front to go with an offense where, at least on paper, they should be playing from ahead most weeks. Yeah, they'll win their division. What if you go 11-6 and the Pack go 12-5 and your reward is going to be a road trip to Atlanta in the playoffs? I know I'm thinking way ahead. And who knows? Maybe Kirk Cousins dies. Maybe it just doesn't work. But, like, I do try to, future-proof stuff.
But you have to.
But the only beauty of that is if you end up having to play in the Mercedes-Benz Dome, Atlanta doesn't have fans.
Lions fans take over.
The Lions fans can take over and turn that into a pseudo-home game.
We can get the famous Lou Williams wings.
We can't.
The Magic Pepper
You want to do the pregame show, me and Cookies? Let's go.
What is it, Magic City?
Let's go.
We're in Magic City.
The wings. Get the wings.
Kenny
Magic
G.
City.
Cott. Live from Magic City, Lions pregame before the wild card.
You think they can sell that? Sure. He can come too.
Never mind.
Come on, man.
David, behave yourself. That's all I can say. Let's go to the people.
Let's go. Let's get this going.
Because I have a feeling I know where that's going. And we're going to go to Cody, 97.1. What's up, Cody? Cody. Uh-oh. All right. Well, I guess Cody wasn't paying attention. All right, David, take a text.
What fans are worse, the Brad bots or the Steve bots?
I think there are bots in every fan base. So let's be fair. I mean, there are Scott bots. There's Steve bots. There's Brad bots. There are no Piston bots because there are no fan bots for that team. So it doesn't matter. But it's what it is. And I don't understand those people.
I do, because it's so new, because they now feel like we've arrived and it's a birthright. And I hope that this team continues to win. But as I've said before, hey, Lions fans, all your games have now become circle games. Everybody's after you. You don't sneak up on anybody anymore. Now you're not just competing against the Packers and Bears. You're competing against everybody else in the NFC because you want to be playing all your games at home. So, yeah, it's what Mike said. It hurts that he went to Atlanta because that could be something that comes back to bite you, because that one game could be the difference between you going to Atlanta or Atlanta coming here.
I'll say this too. I do believe the NFC as a whole has gotten better. You know, the floor has kind of been raised, but I think at the top, last year you played your games at home. You earned that right in the first round. I think you got good karma by getting that second game at home because of what the Pack did to Dallas. You deserved it. You beat Dallas in the regular season. I don't want to hear about Skipper. But I don't think when you play your playoff games this year, you're going to say,
let that go.
I'm eligible to report. Let's face it. You played the two worst teams in the playoffs. You will never have an easier run to the NFC title game. It will not be that way this year.
No, you played two of the three worst teams.
Who was the worst?
Philly.
Oh, good call. Yeah, they were a corpse.
Philly, whoever played Philly was just going to steamroll them.
They hated everything. Oh, by the way, did you see Big Dom is back?
He's signing autographs.
No. Now the Eagles changed his title.
Yes.
So he could regain access to the field.
Mm-hmm.
I have never in my life seen anything like this Dom D'Alessandro.
He was at joint practices signing autographs and taking photos.
Oh, is he in the booth to also take swipes at players?
Hey, man.
So his access to the field is more important than them actually winning playoff games.
Look, man, I'm just telling you, Big Dom is back, and the Eagles feel like they got their mojo
I don't
back.
think he wants any more Greenlaw, though.
That was insane. No, it was totally insane. It's like when you saw the Dallas Cowboys shove the Rams coach to the ground. There's a separation of church and state. You do not make contact with a coach if you're a player, and if you are a coach, don't you dare put your hands on a player.
The only way you put your hands on a player if he's in grave danger about to hit something or run somebody over.
Or it's Last Boy Scout and there's a 9mm at your quarterback. Kenny, ever see Last Boy Scout? You have no idea what I'm talking about.
That is correct.
Let me help you out. You don't need to watch the movie. You only need to watch the opening scene.
Yes.
That's it.
I could cut down on a lot of movies doing that.
No,
that sounds
seriously.
great.
No,
the movie's
just this
horrible, but the opening scene will leave you like, what did I just watch?
Then you will understand the reference.
Billy Blanks.
Just trying to help. All right.
Touchdown.
Northville Lumber. We talk about them all the time. Oldest company in the state, largest Trex decking outlet in the country. Nobody stocks more or sells more than Northville Lumber. Last year, contractors and homeowners, they bought enough Trex from Northville to cover 26 football fields, and there is a reason they can move that much Trex decking. It's all in stock all the time. It's right in their warehouse, mile down the road. No delays, no shipping. You buy it, you build it, you save money while you're doing it. Some of it as low as $1.59 a foot. So all you got to do, they'll intro you to a Trex certified pro. Just call Northville Lumber today or go to northvillelumber.com. That's northvillelumber.com.
Brought to you by Beninati Pools. This just in, according to a report by ESPN baseball writer Kylie McDaniel, Trey Sweeney is heading to the big leagues. Sweeney was dealt to the Tigers in the Flaherty deal. He's not currently on the 40-man roster, so some moves going to need to be done there to make him a Tiger. The Tigers on the field defeated the Mariners 2-1 at Comerica Park. A Javier Baez 2-run homer in the 8th, along with a 1-2-3 ninth by Jason Foley, sealed the deal for Seattle. The Tigers not only swept today, but also take the season series, winning 5 of 6. The 4 combined hits between the two teams is tied for the fewest in Comerica Park history. You have to go all the way back to 2007 when Magglio Ordonez and Carlos Guillen both homered in that game. The NBA schedule was released today. The season for the Pistons begins October 23rd at home versus the Pacers. Nicolas Cage is set to play John Madden in an MGM-produced biopic centering around creation of the Madden NFL video game. Robert Griffin III and Sam Ponder are the latest victims of budget cuts at ESPN, according to reports. Ponder had worried. What do you think about Cage as well?
What's going to happen with every Michigan touchdown now?
No, RG3's terrible. Bye.
But I needed him for Michigan.
Ponder had also worked for the network since 2011, while Griffin was hired in 21. He had 2 years remaining in his deal and was strongly considered to be the network's number 2 college football analyst, paired with Sean McDonough when he was first hired, according to The Athletic. At the Corwell Health Sports Desk, I'm Jeremy Otto. More at 6 or at 971theticket.com.
And for those of you who are upset that I said good that someone is unemployed, first of all, RG3 has more money than God. Second of all, he'll get another job. Maybe it'll be on the CW doing ACC football. And 3, here's the other problem I have. We have lost the ability that when someone is objectively bad at what they do, to just say goodbye. RG3 sucks.
I enjoyed him.
Oh, why? Because he worshipped your man, Penix?
Oh, no. But it was worthy of being worshipped.
I'm making a point. I don't think he's any good. I don't care.
He was
Sam Ponder, I don't even know what she does.
He was entertaining.
No, he wasn't.
He was entertaining on those.
He was never entertaining.
The David, the Thursday and Friday night late night games. Okay? He was. Sorry. I like.
Carry on. I just wanted that PSA. I reserve a right to say that I will lose no sleep that RG3 lost their job.
And hold on. That was my moment of silence.
There you go.
Well, here's Kenny's words on it.
No. Right, Kenny's actually running ESPN now.
Kenny's getting his way.
Kenny got his way.
I just hope my card works on Monday.
Oh, no. David?
Yeah, someone is sending this text in. John in Canton says, Nicolas Cage is John Madden. Did I hear that correctly?
Right. You'll be playing Boris Yeltsin in a biopic coming up next year.
Why do we need the movie? But why didn't we need
Rico starring
Cage?
as Bill Clinton. It sounds like one of those FX shows he likes.
You know
Clipped.
what?
Or what was the OJ one?
The People versus OJ.
Kenny Cott as Samuel L. Jackson in a biography.
See, but here's the problem, Rico. The People versus OJ was good. Leave it at that. We don't need more. We don't need Clipped. We don't need the Aaron Hernandez because it's getting worse.
Clipped was good.
No,
I like Clipped, David.
I got
you didn't
caught
like
in
Clipped
it
from the beginning, and you admitted
Lawrence
it.
Fishburne should not be playing. I
And in
can't
the
see
end-
him as Doc Rivers.
And in the end, I stopped seeing him as that, and I'm looking at Ed O'Neill like, dude, you've earned an award.
Well, yeah. At the end, I thought he was a true racist because he played his part well.
Right? I'm like, wow.
That's it.
Wow.
Rico Beard is King Charles in the new biopic.
I want to be Bill Clinton.
How do you cast Nicolas Cage as John Madden?
No,
I don't know. Please explain it.
He kind of looks like him.
Oh, yes.
If you
why?
squint your
'Cause
eyes.
They're both white?
See, I wasn't going there.
I mean, like, what other commonalities do they have?
Was James Earl Jones unavailable?
Baseball. Jeff Rieger is James Earl Jones. Go ahead, David.
Yeah. I guess Matt Damon just didn't turn down the role.
Tom in Detroit. To see that the Falcons got Judon for only a third-round pick makes me think Holmes definitely missed an opportunity to make the team
But
better.
again, you don't have the picks. You drafted Darkman, the dude with no profile pick from Vancouver. Like, Rico has a point that for a team that drafts so well, when it gets to the third and fourth round and you're like, wait, we drafted Hendon Hooker with one leg, a dude without a profile pick, and then we're drafting converted safeties who are running backs. Rico has a point
Right,
there,
it's
guys.
almost like you celebrating that first and second round pick, and they're like, we're up on the clock. Just make the pick. We're celebrating right now because we just nailed the first two selections again, which are good. But, man, something happens in round 3. It's like, guys, stay focused. Focus.
Kenny Cott is Steph Curry. Who's doing the casting?
Kenny Cott, Jeff Rieger, the Splash Brothers.
I'm a Splash Brother.
I mean, the casting for these FX shows.
Michael Valenti as Draymond Green.
Some of this stuff is unbelievable. Go ahead, Dave.
David Hull as Steve Kerr.
I wanted Judon too. No reports of the Lions, though, being considered in the trade. Holmes is like Iserman, smartest man in the room. That's from Jason.
Except Brad Holmes wins. Let's be fair. This is 2 years in a row they've put a good product. They were moments away from a Super Bowl. Steve Yzerman can't make the playoffs in a league where half the teams do.
It is.
And he has, not that Steve has asked for it, I'm just saying maybe it's organically happening. He's got people softening expectations for him in year 6. We'll take that. Kenny, don't put your head down. If I'm being unfair, speak it. Speak your truth.
You're not being unfair. It just hurts to hear the truth sometimes, Michael.
When he picked his head up, he sounds like he had 7 beers in the last 10 minutes. You're not being unfair, Mike.
All I hear is Mark Ryan. Can I get an amen?
Hello, my friends.
Why don't you poor bastards enjoy the ride? I don't know, because we haven't made the playoffs since you were in Houston.
No, it's just,
Why can't you enjoy what Steve's provided for you? What's that? I want the playoffs.
So I have an update here. You all went to a Cody earlier in the show. He has responded. It's Cody. I was paying attention, boys, but I got pulled over by the state police.
No.
He ended up letting me go with the warning, though. So sorry, I couldn't answer.
okay.
Good for you, Cody.
Okay.
That's no better way to ruin your day.
Well, he didn't get a ticket.
No, I'm saying overall.
It ended up well, yeah.
Like you drive. Yeah, I always wonder about it, especially, I take a couple of road trips a year and you drive and you're going to see state police, and it's like, if I were a cop, I wouldn't want to get out of the car and pull over anybody for speeding. That ruins people's day. Like if you're driving, let's say you get up early in the morning and whether like once a year I'll drive to Kentucky or I drive back to Saratoga. Like, why? Like, I look at it like, guy's just trying to go to work. I don't care. He's going 83 and a 65. I'd be the worst. I wouldn't write a single speeding ticket.
Who cares? He's going 90 and a 25.
Mozzie, is that you?
That's a Georgia player. That's what that is. That's
right
not Mozzie.
now, I will say, you're going 138 in school zone. We're going to pull you over.
Right. Can you keep it to 120? Okay.
I just wish we had an Autobahn. That's all. Nothing further. I wish we could just have one unlimited speed lane on our highways. Or just do what Montana did. Suggestive speed.
Okay, make a joke, but David, go ahead.
Don't.
Go ahead. If the Niners would have gotten Judon, would that have been another chair drop?
No. No, because in fairness to the Lions, they don't have this cascading waterfall of picks. And they just gave Decker some money. They spent. You have to look at what it means. I don't have their ledger.
And here's the thing. If the Niners would have got him, it would have been funny to me because the chair drop would have came from Brandon Ayuk. Like, seriously? You paid everybody else, and now you're bringing in people, but you won't give me money.
Evan Jenkins as Brandon Ayuk.
With the braids.
in a new film called Where's My Money, Bitch?
Wait, can I play Brock Purdy?
Yes. It would match the casting of FX. Jesus. Samuel L. Jackson as George Washington. All right, that sums it up. Anything else? Are we good?
I am
we're good.
sick and tired of all these British people on these.
All right. Well, a lot of people got to replace the roof. Be forewarned. Will you turn? Get him out of here. Get out. Walk away. These roofing companies out there skip over the most important part of the process. It's attic ventilation. If you don't get that plan right, I don't care if you put the best, most expensive roof on the market up. You're going to have mold and wood rot and probably have to tear the whole thing apart anyways. Victors, they don't skip the step because they start with it. They don't do another thing before they figure out the ventilation. Once that's done, then they get to work on the perfect roof. And that is how, with their process and with their quality craftsmanship, that's how they can offer a 50-year leak-free guarantee on every roof they install. Best installation, best standards, and the best plan. It's Victor's. Call for your free roof inspection and estimate today, 734-773-1100, or book an appointment online anytime at victors.com.
Coming to FX, David Hull as Larry Bird, the kid from French Lick.
Oh, let me read this ticket text for you guys. Mark in St. Louis. Tom Milliken as Kunta Kinte. Coming soon. I'm just reading the ticket text, guys. Just providing you.
Good night, everybody.
With what day?
Rieger will be here at 6.
Someone else says Nick Nolte should have been John Madden. What? No. I think they just don't need the movie. They don't need it.
David, it's okay to have the movie if the guy doesn't look like Clipped was actually pretty good. The V. Stiviano character,
He was good in it.
and the Sterlings were really good. Both Sterlings. But okay, Doc Rivers was okay, and the team looked horrible, but I don't care. Okay,
Thank God they played Chris Paul.
I didn't care about all of that. It was a good. I'm about the story. It was a good story. It's like Cuba Gooding Jr. wasn't looking like OJ, but it was still.
He wasn't even as tall.
Right. It was
as
still.
OJ.
It was still
You're
a good
right.
story.
You're right.
So Aaron Hernandez, yes, I will be watching. Now the John Madden, Nicolas Cage, but you know what? You can do a lot with prosthetics. So let's see what happens. But yeah. Nicolas Cage must be hard up for money. Why not Denzel at this point?
Well, he's playing that. They made up a character for the new. Was it the 300?
Oh no,
Sequel?
that's Gladiator.
Gladiator. I'm sorry. Yeah.
The new Gladiator.
Yeah.
The movie sequel that nobody asked for. Seriously, nobody.
Again, what are we doing in Hollywood? We don't need this. We didn't want this.
Hey, this is what happens when your baseball team is out of the playoffs.
No,
we talk movie casting.
You guys are missing it. There are no new ideas. You ever just look at movies near you? Like I always go to see kids' movies with Olive, but when I actually can go see a movie with my wife, there's no new ideas. All the movies are old movies they're reshowing. Hollywood's in trouble, Rico. There's no new ideas.
Occasionally you get new ideas.
I feel you get sequels to other movies.
Probably around every 5-10 years, a movie comes out and you're like, okay, wow, that was different.
By the way, did you watch the Kevin James playing Sean Payton show?
That movie?
You remember that?
No, yeah.
Sean Payton goes to coach his kid because it was during Bounty Gate.
I never watched it because of that reason. He doesn't
he
look like
played
Sean Payton.
And he did not look like Sean Payton in the movie either. But it wasn't awful. It was like a good way to kill 2 hours, I guess.
I don't know when David became this critic. Like, you have to look like this. You have to. Who cares?
Okay. Well, then how about this? Jim
No
Costa.
more Govs.
Jim Costa's Martin Luther King.
What should Gov be?
We're not going to talk about that.
Why?
David, go ahead and
Yeah,
read.
Jim Costa's Martin Luther King, since you don't have to look like him.
What about Gov as Lex Luthor?
No, Gov was going to do a remake of Roots.
That's what they said in the ticket text.
That's what they said on the ticket text, that Gov was going to be in the remake of Roots.
Oh, my. Oh, my.
Rieger and Wojo.
What's up?
Oh, yeah, we're here.
You've been a busy man.
What's that?
You've been a busy man.
Oh, yeah. We've noticed what's going on in social media with you, OJ.
Oh, yeah.
Fighting a good fight.
It's not even a fight. It's all in good fun.
Wojo's out there like Jon Snow. With the one sword as the entire army's coming at it.
I like
from
that.
all angles.
Why do you feel the need to respond to a Buckeye dude that has like 1,000 followers?
Oh, no.
When his profile pic is just a Buckeye football player.
I don't really respond to them. I respond about them. Like, I'm not engaging in any particular one person. Maybe
all you
one
do
Buckeye.
is put chum in the water.
Exactly. By the way, how about Hatchet as Eminem?
No,
that would work, right?
No. Hatchet will be the kid from French Lick, Larry Bird.
I like that.
Oh.
I thought
Actually-
Hatchet would make a good Eric Montross.
Actually, I'll tell you what Tom Milliken's playing. He's replacing the cone in Jazzy Cat and the Cone.
Oh, and that, by the way, is before we realized what the real Jazzy Cat and the Cone stood for.
I'm in trouble. I'm so sorry, guys. I am
give
so
you this
sorry,
read
guys.
No, you're all in trouble.
By the way,
I heard those.
Kenny Cott's going to play Shaq.
No.
Yes,
No, no, no.
yes,
You-
yes.
You and Kenny Cott will be the Splash Brothers.
I'm Shaq
Steph
Diesel.
Curry. That's Klay Thompson.
I'm a hooper, a hyper, protected by a viper. When I get the hooping, you better decipher.
Oh, my God.
Because I'm going to be a shack knife and cut you with precision.
Mike's going to be playing Draymond Green.
Tony Danza, I'm the boss. When it comes to hooping, I'm Mike Dicker's boss. You don't remember that, Sean?
Oh, yeah. No, Hatchet could be Tony Danza, right?
Oh, yes, Tony
Who's
Maselli.
the whitest person in America?
Ryan Seacrest.
Yeah,
there you
that's
go.
a pretty good
That's
one.
who I'll be.
Can you just say, and this is American Idol?
And who's the blackest person in America? I think it's Samuel L.
So that means you.
No, it's not Tom.
That means you would play Sam Jackson.
Yeah.
No, I think they got this one. Hatchet can play Joel Osteen.
Yeah. That's actually pretty good. Preaching. Oh, yeah, I like that one.
Yeah.
And
down in Houston. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Does that mean Karsh would play Rodney Dangerfield because he doesn't get respect? Karsh is always about respect now.
Valenti could be Jason Whitlock.
No.
I mean, bombastic, right? That works.
Yeah.
Come on.
What are you guys talking about?
Wojo is Ron Jeremy.
We are going to cast.
Okay, you know what?
Hey,
Hey.
we're closer than you think.
What are we talking about?
That's one.
What are we talking about,
that's
boys?
what gets you to change it, Ron Jeremy.
Oh, no, let's make it more uncomfortable.
Wojo is the hedgehog.
Oh, no. It's not me. I'm out of here. That's you guys.
Rico as...
Put it this way. When they go back and do the air check, I didn't say anything. Go ahead.
What about Rico? What about Rico as Danny DeVito?
Sure.
I can see that.
What? How about Rieger as Kevin Hart?
Oh, I like that. I like Kevin Hart. Yeah.
Maybe I could be Jerry Seinfeld.
There you go. There
you go. See, you know how to play the game. We're going to talk a little bit about...
comments are safe. When they do this air check, I'm going to be employed
doing
on
the
Monday.
air check? We are going to talk about the Tigers and baseball.
Go from the morning show doing the air check.
Oh, boy. And I have a major bitch to open the show with. Bitch. I mean, a complaint.
Put Javi at cleanup.
Javi, what's that OPS up to, huh?
It's got like a 900 OPS in the last 2 weeks. Rico.
Hello.
900.
Keep this up, he'll be batting eighth.
You know what? I can be Javi. Just show up every now and then.
It's like the greatest thing ever, right? He plays great for the next 6 weeks.
It's the equivalent.
Like,
you know what?
Of course, we're bringing Javi back.
It's the equivalent of like Drew Stanton's career. Like you got paid to do what? Nothing. But you got paid.
What, a 12-year backup? Yeah.
He got
Pretty
paid
much.
a lot too.
He got paid.
Yeah, he beat Michigan State.
Who?
Oh no, he didn't. Yeah, I'm thinking of Jeff Smoker. Drew Stanton never beat Michigan State, did he?
He played for Michigan State.
I meant Michigan. I'm sorry, Michigan. I meant Michigan.
You know what?
You know what? Yeah.
He played in that rainy game against Notre Dame.
But he never did beat Michigan.
Xfinity gives me a chance to just get out of this studio and be on the go all summer long and still watch all my great shows and sports. But Xfinity Internet, I get the speed I need at a great price so I can keep up with all the action. You too can get the speed you need at a great price thanks to the fastest internet on the largest gig speed network, delivering to more homes